In this video, we'll talk about how to rationalize a denominator. In math, when we get a result, if you have a radical sign in the denominator, for example, if you have, for example, 1 over square root of 2, you will have to somehow get rid of the square root in the denominator. If your denominator is just a rational expression with one term, usually what we'll do is to multiply the top and the bottom just by the rational expression. So here we'll multiply the top and the bottom by square root of 2. How would that help us? Because square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 2 squared, which is 2. Right? So that means the denominator becomes a 2. So the radical sign is gone. On top is 1 times square root of 2. It's square root of 2. So in other words, 1 over square root of 2 is equal to square root of 2 over 2. Now let's look at 3 more examples. For A, we want to simplify 2 over square root of 2. We need to rationalize this denominator. So we will do the same. Multiply the top and the bottom by square root of 2 so that the bottom becomes square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. The top is 2 square root of 2. So we can cancel out a 2 here. The answer is square root of 2 over basically 1, right? So, which is square root of 2. Okay, that's A. Another way to see it is, if it's 2 over square root of 2, we know 2 is square root of 2 squared, right? So this is basically square root of 2 squared divided by square root of 2. We can cancel out 1 of the square root of 2. That's square root of 2. All right, let's look at B here. B here is square root of 6 over 5. First of all, we can rewrite it as square root of 6 over square root of 5. Okay, so then we have to rationalize the denominator, the square root of 5. We have to somehow get rid of that square root sign. So what we'll do is multiply the top and the bottom by square root of 5. So that square root of 5 times square root of 5 at the bottom is just 5. So on top, it's square root of 6 times square root of 5, which is square root of 30. Okay, can we simplify it? No, we can't. Because 30, you cannot factor a perfect square. So 30 has no perfect square inside, right? So that's the answer, square root of 30 over 5. Now let's look at C. All right, so here we want to get rid of the denominator, the square root of 10, right? That's the only square root in the denominator. So what we will do is just to multiply the top and the bottom by the square root part. Square root of 10. So how would that help us? Because square root of 10 times square root of 10, that's 10, right? So you have 2 times 10 at the bottom. On top, you have 5 times square root of 3 times square root of 10. Okay, so over here, we can cancel out some common factors here. 5 and 10, they share a common factor of 5, right? So divide 5 by 5, that's 1. Divide 10 by 5, that's 2. Okay, so at the bottom, 2 times 2, that's 4. So now let's look at the top. The top is 1 times square root of 3 times square root of 10, which is just these two multiplied together. That is square root of 30. And we cannot simplify it because there's no perfect square as a factor in 30. So that's the answer. And I hope you find this video helpful, and I will see you in the next video.